All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Episode 18 of Follows the May. Slightly better than. Oh, hang on. I got echoing audio. Hold up. Oh God.
Oh no! Oh no!
There we go. It's fixed. It's fixed. We're good now. All right. Anyway, welcome to episode 18 of Follows They May. We're gonna have a little bit of a shorter session today because I have to be at work a lot earlier than I usually am because someone came in with COVID again.
Hell
Oh,
yeah!
fun.
That's the best time.
Anyway, last we left off, the Pietins have finally arrived in Velodae. You guys are... Eventually we'll get to a better name. Never. The DM said hopefully realizing this meme will go on for as long as possible.
It's beautiful.
Upon arriving, they were greeted by Captain Relian of the guard here in Velodae, who took them down to their station to get some information on just what had happened in Norbury. After doing so, they were given a tour of the city, shown some of the living areas that are these very beautifully crafted homes that have, to the displeasure of the church, have become more of tourist homes than lifelong homes. It seems like they're having some issue keeping residents within the town, as their way of life is a little bit too religious for some people. Nay almost had a panic attack several times in the attempts to explain that no, everything in history is wrong. They made their way to the High Church of Ogma, which itself services as more of a library to the town, where there are vast collections of knowledge. Badger met up with his contact here, who seemed less than pleased that she was being called upon by their benefactor, and was not shy in showing it. The party took some time for themselves, gathering information of various types on various topics, making their way to the various shops, and acquiring quite a few oddities.
I don't know what you're talking about.
From a shop known as the Grinning Raven. Well, you didn't, Belmondo, but Badger certainly bought a couple things.
Well, I bought something.
At which point, a bit later in the day, Lem was found by one of the guard and handed a letter saying that House Dyrasa was thanking them for the information on Norbury, awarding them 2,000 gold pieces, and in addition, Captain Aurelian extended an invitation that should they ever be in search of more work, he does have some things that he needs taken care of, both within and outside the city. And that's where we left off. Everyone's still... Some people are headed over to the Vagabond. Some people are still out and about. Believe, if I recall correctly... Are you okay? Luke, are you okay? What's happening?
I just read Chris's name. What is that?
Shabadaba. Ooh. Oh my
Like amiibo.
Amiibo.
God.
I'll be bored.
Okay, so, if I recall correctly, Badger, Malik, and I want to say Lem, you were heading to the Vagabond. Is anybody else going to the Vagabond?
I'll go to the Vagabond.
I know that Void, you went to go pick up Nay.
Tweedledee and Tweedledingus. Yeah.
Yeah, and Squeeps, I forget, what were you doing?
I left because I realized there weren't any books on Best Friends, so I don't need to be there.
You had the conversation with Best Friend, and then you were like, walking on sunshine as you walked away.
Bye.
Okay, so no one knows where Squeeps is.
That's such a wonderful character trait. Yeah, what you're doing is pointless. Oh, that's great.
If I recall correctly, it's because Best Friend said if all goes well, that they will meet at some point.
It won't matter.
Yeah, they're gonna go to fucking Best Friend Con.
They're gonna go to Denny's and get a chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
I actually really like Denny's chicken fried steak.
Never tried.
It's delicious. I really like it. Anyway, all right. So Void, you make your way over to the High Church. Go ahead and give me a perception check. See how well you can track down Nay.
Oh, that's not bad. Modifier. Load, damn you! Oh, 12.
That's
Well,
not bad.
she's
Well,
not
12 plus 0 for 12.
she's not hiding, so it takes you the average amount of time. I'd say maybe about like 5-6 minutes to figure out where she is. Nay, what are you up to? Still just reading your books?
Yeah. If it's a case that I still have that book in my hands, I am going to try to lean over the history, the Raven Queen, what's best known about them, and if it's a case that I can get as far as I can, I want to see if I can try to learn the origins of this deity.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a investigation for that.
This will go well as I roll a natural one.
Natural one.
no.
Okay. So, origin. You wanted to figure out more information on her specifically.
Mhm.
Okay. So, while this book does go into some detail about her, there is not a bunch of it. You glean the information that at one point the Raven Queen, similar to information you've heard in the past, the Raven Queen was mortal at one point. She ascended to godhood through means that are there's seemingly several different tales of how she ascended to godhood. One believes she was one theory goes that she was a powerful wizard that ascended into godhood by means of power. Another believes that the tale of her stealing power away from the god of death Kelemvor is the way that she was able to ascend to godhood. Others believe that it was a fluke. And and at least from what you can glean of that information, there's no one set way that people seem to be definitively set that she achieved her ascension.
So none of those are in relation to what I would glean as maybe the first being an influence in any way?
No.
So not even a talk like another god had
you hear
raised them.
You do read Kelemvor. Make a actually, I can't even say make a religion check. You can try to search for information on him.
Okay, yeah, I remember Kellenbor being I believe I rolled for it previously as far as Nay knows, he is considered Lord of the Dead, but I can roll for further knowledge.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're in a library now, so this is a whole different area.
So it's still investigation or
still investigation.
What am I roll?
Still investigation.
Okay, so I rolled an 11.
Okay, so with an 11, you would basically figure out kind of the information that you had known before. You glean that based on what you were reading, though you have your own beliefs on the first, you start to recall just through your conversation that it was stated, at least for the history that they follow, that the first is the Shaper of Chaos. And looking through the book, looking through what you can find on Kelemvor, he holds no domain in the realm of chaos. He is structured and orderly in the way that he approaches his work. He tries to be as fair to everybody as possible, as he does not see one soul weighed against. As when he sees one soul weighed against another, it is through their deeds, not through who they are personally. He is very much an individual that he judges you when you are there, when you come to his domain, and from there he decides where you will go.
And no knowledge about what made him.
No. I mean, if you want to look for books on that, you can.
It's the only way to prove that.
At this point, Boyd, you would find Nay.
Hey, how's it coming along?
Kellenbor, I need to know what made Kellenbor. If I can find out what made Kellenbor, then I can say that it was the first. And if it was the first, that means that the first was the first one and not any of this other nonsense. That's what I'm trying to find now.
I believe it's 4, like with a B. You know, not a B, a V.
Kellum, right, Kellenbor. Right.
Oh, did you just not hear me right, Jordan? Is that you or is that Nay?
Truthfully, a little bit of both.
All right, that's fine. If you ever need me to if you're ever confused whether I'm saying a B or a V, just let me know because it is similar.
I was
so
like, I have it
clarify it.
I have it listed as my notes as okay. Kellenbor.
Kellenbor. K-E-L-E.
Kellenbor. I have it as a Kellenbor. That's where it is. Okay, got it.
You gotta do the shit that like telemarketers do. That's like D is in dog, O is in Orion. You know, that kind of shit.
F as in fuck, U as in fuck, C as in fuck.
That old phonetic alphabet.
OURSL.
Anyway, if you'd like to, Nate, go ahead. You can make another investigation check. Void, if you'd like to help her, you can give her advantage. Unless you're just trying to pull her away at this point.
No, I'm just sitting with her.
Okay.
So no help is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I didn't hear help actions. So.
That's pretty good.
Help.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Don't get bullied into it.
Let's see if I can roll higher than a 17 then. I'm gonna take a 17.
That's 17. Flat 17?
I have a +0 to my investigations, so.
Okay. It takes some asking around. As it seemed like the information you were looking for has only within the past 500 years been recovered. And there's not a whole lot of it. That's the thing. It seems like this is a lot of people trying to re-piece together the world's history. But eventually you are brought to a tome a little bit towards the back that is actually locked into place. As you were explained, at present they're trying to make sure that this stays put and is not able to be removed from the library as they do need it. As they're basically using this book as a foundation book to continue on building. There are other copies of it as a backup, but this is the first book that began its publishing. And they want to continue using this book as more of almost like a relic than anything else. But they allow you to come over and look at it under supervision.
Before I open up the book, I want to cast Detect Magic, especially if they're saying that they're trying to be a little bit more protective about it.
The podium that it is on is magical.
Not the book.
Specifically abjuration magic.
Okay, but not the book. Nothing off
not
there.
The book. No.
All right.
Or if there is magic in it, it's dormant right now.
Okay.
All right, so you go ahead and open the book and begin kind of flipping through it. It tells a loose history, as again, this information is still fairly new. It tells a loose history about the beginning of everything. The 5 who gave birth to the world, each of them residing within its own domain. The first residing within the domain of chaos, the second, domain of neutrality, the third residing within the domain of good, the fourth, the domain of law, and the fifth, the domain of evil. Each of them basically contributed bits of themselves in order to shape the world. It goes into detail about how the fifth was almost shunned by his siblings, not allowed to put forth any of his energies, and it was through his sister, the second, that he was able to place his influence within the lower half of the outer planes, as she felt without his influence that there would not be true balance in the world. Good could not exist without evil. Law could not exist without chaos. She acted as the mediator between the 5. It further goes into detail about how he got greedy, how as opposed to continuing just to be a viewer, he wanted to have more of a direct influence in the world, materializing himself on the material plane and gathering followers. How some of the darker gods, and specifically goes into detail about the gods Bane and Baal, the gods of deceit and murder, that he managed to create by stealing powers away from his siblings. How they were the first that began to rise up, and eventually, and upon seeing this, the other four decided that there needed to be other gods to keep them in check, and began creating the deities that make up the pantheon of the world. Like I said, it's a very loose history. This is not a first-hand account or even a second-hand account. It seems like this is more of a record book. These are documents that have been unearthed and have been transcribed. And as they said, this seems to still be ongoing. The book does not have a definitive end. It seems to have a definitive start, but the order in the way that things are told afterwards seem to be just whatever documents or information they've managed to gather.
So in essence, this is a log book and not a straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, this is keeping tabs on whatever information they have been able to gather.
This is not a god's personal diary.
Yeah, this book is not as well put together than the others. There is no clean streamline of information. There is no transition from topic to topic to topic. It is very much this is what we have found at this time. Here's the information we have for you, and it continues on like that.
In relation to the five, Nay is just trying to look for any sort of hint, like there's been some alterations, some sort of
you can make a
hints that.
Yeah, you can make a. I'd say this would be in. I'd probably give you insight here.
Yeah. Like as a player, as a player, I want to say like Nay's looking for if the pages are a little bit more newer than the rest. But...
Oh, then that would be. Yeah, I'll give you insight. Go for it.
Not a good roll, but still insight's crazy. So 15.
15. Okay. The pages themselves are definitely. The book was definitely made at the same time. Kind of taking a look at the ink, there are older and newer passages. It doesn't seem like any information has been taken back, like there's no redactions within it. It is very well and cleanly written, but it's serving more as a logbook than anything. The newer pages you glean are just information that they gathered at a more recent time. The front of the book is definitely older. When you kind of flip back to the first couple of pages, it's very clear that it was written a very long time ago. The book is in immaculate condition just in the way that they're keeping it, but you can still tell that there are areas that, again, toward the front of the book, old, and then as you get to about, it's definitely a time. Like, have you ever seen like rings of an oak tree? When it gets open, it's definitely like you can tell that the ink is fresher and fresher the more you go along.
Longest shot possible, and I probably already know the answer to this, but during the 10 minutes during Detect Magic occurred while she was going through the book, nothing came up.
Nope. No sort of enchantment or anything. Like I said, the podium is still magical and is still glowing. But other than that, no.
No.
Although I would also say, as you connect it in your brain, I'd say, give me another insight check real quick.
Ah, shit. That's a really high roll. This might break her. 15 plus 7, that'll be 22?
Alright, so specifically because you were looking at threads of connection and kind of trying to tailor everything back, you would get from this, what you would, in your mind, kind of get from this book, probably fragments of the 4th and 2nd were used to create Kellamore. someone who does not see people for who they were in life, only through their deeds, and had structure to his work.
And still, like even with the logbook, not a talk about the first was there and you created what is supposedly the second, the third, the fourth.
There is talk of the first, but they don't refer to him as the original. He is one of 5.
They're hiding. They're hiding something. They have to be. They have to be hiding something. I'm just gonna look over to whoever's supervising as I'm reading this.
Yeah, I would say probably Soel, the tiefling. We're standing there.
There has to be older documentation. There has to be something else. You're hiding something from me.
He will say, calm down. We're not hiding anything. Whatever information we have managed to glean is within that book. This is still new information to a lot of us.
I'm immediately casting Zone of Truth.
Okay.
Right then and there.
He's choosing not to. He won't. Actually, let's see if he knows what you're casting. 19. Yeah, he knows. He'll just kind of sit there. He does not even try to. He doesn't even try to resist it.
No hidden archives. No other aged books. Nothing about the first.
No hidden archives. There is a library. Not a library. There's a collection that is specifically for the High Priest. If you'd like, I can see if he is able to share any of it with you. It kept close to the chest, but I can always inquire.
You wouldn't be lying to me. You wouldn't be lying to me. I know it's there. I know you have it. I know you do.
What is it that you're looking for exactly?
I need to know that the first was the first and there was nothing else.
There's really nothing I can tell you. I'm sorry. This is the information as we have it laid. If we discover anything about it, I'd be more than happy to contact you. As I said, this is still an incomplete history.
There's a moment of just continual process, hitting a conclusion, processing again, hitting a conclusion.
If I may ask, what is you seem to have a lot of information on, or at least believe you have a lot of information on this. Would you like to sit down, talk about it?
You have to be lying, you have to be, because otherwise there's a moment where she thinks like about doing an action and immediately stopping herself.
For what it's worth, you would know if I was lying.
Then yes, talk. I would need your high priest's information. I need to know.
He will actually come over and like just kind of like pat you on the shoulder for a moment. Say, do you need a drink? Water?
I need to know.
Come.
That she didn't die for no reason.
You'll see he kind of like comfortingly tries to kind of like just put an arm around you, and
I immediately shoving them off.
All right. Well, I'll see if we can get you an audience. Just a moment, and he'll walk away.
He's just gonna be.
You're probably there too, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Make it a scarf.
Nate's just kind of sat where she is and trying her best not to burst out crying, screaming, doing everything possible except just shaking where she sat right there.
Okay. Right.
You know, we can always just come back later.
I need to know. I have to.
You need to not kill yourself inside trying to figure it out.
One person already died. Trying to think a little differently. I'm not afraid of dying, and yet somehow this Raven Queen thinks it's right to keep me alive, to make me suffer until I learn, until I know. And if it's a case that I've been lied to for my entire life, if I've been lied to, if she had been lied to, I don't know what will happen. But at least I'll know.
Okay. So about say about 10 minutes later, Soel will return. By the way, he did not leave you guys unmonitored. There are acolytes who've kind of just been keeping a close eye on you. But he'll come back. And he'll say, "All right, well, I have sent a missive to the High Priest. Unfortunately, it seems at the moment he is preoccupied. However, if you would let me know where you plan to stay, I can send a missive once I hear back."
The vagabond.
Very well. I'll make sure to get word to you as soon as I hear anything. And kind of just shrugs. I apologize that you didn't find what you were looking for.
It's quite all right.
I have some other duties I need to attend to. Feel free to stay with the book as long as you'd like. Just please don't try to remove it from the podium. That's all we ask. I'll walk away.
Dave's not moving.
I know.
Okay.
Just give him a nod.
All right. So we will cut over to everyone else. Oh, actually, let's cut to Squeeps. Hey, Squeeps, where the fuck are you? Are you just wandering around?
I'm just wandering around.
Okay. Any particular direction you're heading, or you're just walking?
East.
East. Okay, so from where you are. Okay. So you begin making your way toward that massive crater. Just completely absent-mindedly, just in a happy, like I said before, walking on sunshine mood. Are you stopping anywhere, or are you just walking?
I'm just walking unless I see something interesting on the way. I'm just walking.
Perception check.
Ooh. To 17.
17? Okay. So just kind of wandering about, looking around the area. Yeah, definitely definitely this whole kind of town and whole way of life is new to you. As you look around, you can actually see that some of the residents are at various stalls. However, them and the shopkeeper seem to be kind of in a moment of silent prayer. And when I say stalls, I mean more like Have you guys ever seen like haphazard garage sales?
I
That's what
fucking
it
love
As a
garage sales.
very haphazardly put together. These are people that are definitely like selling wares that they own, but are not. They're not like licensed or anything. There's no business that they own. They're just trying to get rid of some things and don't want to try selling them at the major shops. If you'd like, you could stop in and look around or keep going.
Absolutely, I'm gonna stop and look at
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
investigation. Oh, that's not as good. That's a 3.
It's a 3. All right. So as you're kind of looking about, you just kind of giving a quick glance around. You're kind of like, it's not really anything that I would like. Although eventually you will find this sort of younger woman, maybe 16, 17 years old, is kind of just thumbing through a couple of things on thumbing through a couple things, setting things out on a table, and you will see that she has a painting about this big, that seems to have a painted picture of a ship in a storm. That kind of catches your eye a little bit.
Point at it.
She looks at it and goes, "Oh, are you interested?" "Oh, well," she'll kind of she seems to like be like hesitating for a moment as she's kind of going through her thoughts, and she says, I believe Mother said, 2 gold and a silver for that."
All right. I'll fish it out and hand it over.
She'll smile and take it. "Thank you." And yeah, you'll pick it up. It's in a very nice wood frame. Seems to be decently painted. This is definitely no well-known artist that painted this, but it's serviceable.
Is there like a metal thing on the back that I can use to hang it somewhere, or is it
Flip
just a
around.
frame?
It's just the frame in the picture.
Okay. I'll put it in my pocket and then I'll keep it going.
Alrighty. Let me think. I'm trying to think of like direction wise. So let's do that. Hey, Badger and Belmont.
Yeah.
Make perception check.
16 plus, I think, 2?
2. So Squeeps,
9.
Squeeps, as you're like kind of just make your way down, you notice that there's a pretty sizable group of people. So there's someone at the front who is dressed in those same kind of robes that you saw from the people at the church, and they seem to be leading the people somewhere.
I'm gonna meld into that crowd, baby.
Uh,
As easily as a giant bird can meld in a wizard hat.
So Belmondo, Belmondo and Badgers, you guys are kind of coming out of the Grinning Raven. About maybe like 100 feet off, you see a very familiar Kenku individual in a blue wizard's hat that saddles in with a large group of people that all kind of like give a curious look down but don't say anything.
The rest of this large group of people, are they all like dressed similarly, or do they look like they were gathered from the street, or they are like all members of the same group?
Seems like just a random gathering of people.
Wanna pick him up, or since we're gonna done deal?
Squeeps! What you up
I
to?
keep walking.
I'm gonna go join Squeeps.
Alright, so
Yeah.
you both kind of jaunt over. And as you do so, the whole crowd kind of stops and turns. The priest at the front kind of stops. And the individual that you see, kind of helming this expedition here. Pull up the information. There she is. You see a half-elven woman with about mid-length reddish-brown hair, blue eyes with freckles across the skin, She has she has a very nice, beautiful set of robes that you saw on Farah, the Dragonborn, the Dragonborn priestess. Um, you also notice that that one hand is uncovered. The other hand, she has a black glove on, and both the sides of the robe just completely cover her arms entirely. And as you approach, she'll kind of look at all of you. Hello.
Day?
Were you all joining the expedition?
Well,
Is this like
I seen my friend in there, and was kind of wondering what all hubbub's about.
Oh, well, we're currently making sure we've gathered everyone. We're making our way up to the exorcism to give a tour of the area and sort of help explain the history. If you're all interested.
The exorcism. Oh, you mean that big crater? What's near the one big pillar over that way, right?
Yes.
Well, sure. I'd be interested in learning a bit of civic history.
I don't see why not.
Very well. Just make sure that you keep yourselves together. Not to say that you won't. And she looks down at you, Squeeps. I'm sure you'll be on your best behavior. Anyway, sorry. Please. And as she does so, oh, go ahead.
What's the general feel of the rest of the crowd? Is this
Excitement.
a joyous occasion? Okay. It's not like some solemn funerary procession type.
No, you do recall being told that Velodae has more or less become a tourist attraction. And the general energy of the crowd is excitement.
Yeah, I'll affect the same sort of jovial mirth and blend in like the rest of the tourists.
Yeah, we are pretty much tourists at this point.
That's not wrong. All right, so.
Well, yeah, but I usually don't try to look like one.
All right, so a couple of questions. So Lem's going to the Vagabond, right? Void and Nay, how long are you guys staying at the church?
I feel like I'd actively be making suggestions that we should leave.
How long is Nay comatose before Void's just like, snap the fuck out of it, let's go?
No, I'm not that rude.
Yeah.
Maybe we should find ourselves to a different location.
Maybe we'll shoot away. I would like to get some food in me. I am starving.
There's this place called the Vagabond that I would like to be at right now.
Oh my, I think I'm getting a case of the abatement.
Alright, so Jordan, how long does Nay stay there?
That's a very good question. I'm going to try to find
roll a
D4.
D20 really quick.
I was going to roll a D4 to count how many hours as we go.
Let's see.
We're going
Let's
to
see how
go
many
20.
hours. Let's see how many hours.
All right, you're lucky. I can roll the 1.
An hour.
So for a solid hour of just.
Scarf's coming along pretty good, man. Like, who are you making it for?
The lady from the store,
Oh,
whose name I don't remember.
Nyx.
Nyx, okay.
All right, yeah. I'd say coming along pretty good. I'd say probably at the end of the hour, if you've been doing nothing but just kind of knitting. I'd say you're probably maybe a third of the way through it, just because knitting does take a knitting does take a long time. Suship would know. Hey, speaking of which.
Admittedly, I crochet, but yeah. So, Void, after an hour, Nay seems to straighten back up, stand back up. It seems like she wipes out her eyes and puts on a bright smile and goes, Vagabond, you say? I am excited. I am curious. That was one of the places that we were supposed to be staying, correct?
You haven't said anything for over an hour, and you're responding to a question I asked. Then, holy cow!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let me put my stuff, what I got ready, back so it doesn't get all tangled. And I will get ready to leave.
Alright. Alright, so you guys will make your way over to the Vagabond. It's gonna take the tourist group a minute to get to their location, so we'll go with you guys in the Vagabond real quick. So, as you guys eventually reconvene, Lem, you make it. Lem, you're the first to make it.
Obviously.
Arriving at the Vagabond, it is a much, as stated, it is a very homely establishment. The exterior is very warm, very welcoming, and there is a set of swinging doors that lead to the interior. And as you open them, there are a couple of patrons in here. Most of them are just kind of sat down, eating various meals, sipping from ale glasses. Kind of acknowledge your presence as you come in with a nod. You see that there is one individual who's kind of currently walking around. You see this human, maybe about, place him maybe about 18, 19 years old. Kind of very, very shortcut, seemingly in the process of growing back blonde hair. With some scrapes across his face and neck, some across his arms. An apron with an undershirt on. Say brown, black pants with a set of boots. Dark blue eyes that he kind of looks up and acknowledges. Like, there's kind of a double take moment where he like looks up, sees you but doesn't see you, looks back down, then looks back up and comes over and goes, "Oh, hello, hi, welcome to the Vagabond. If you'd like to have a seat somewhere, if you need anything, just let me know." You also notice that actually at the bar itself is this half-orc male, hair pulled back into a ponytail, large tusks that kind of go up to about here on his face, dark green skin, wearing a very traditional wearing very traditional barkeep attire, sleeves rolled up with a vest over his shirt, brown pants, can't quite see the boots. See, he's kind of just smiling, almost humming to himself, looks up, gives you a smile and a nod in acknowledgement as he finishes cleaning up the counter and begins pouring out new glasses as one of the tables comes up and grabs some drinks.
Probably take one of the larger tables. Expect to meet some folk here in the next little while. Could I put in for about 3 rooms?
Yeah. So the younger man will come over to you and says, "Oh yes, sure. One moment." He seems to kind of like start kind of patting around. He says, "Oh my, one second. I'm sorry," and he'll run over to the barkeep and start talking. You see the barkeep kind of sighs. Just kind of pats the guy's shoulder, and then begins kind of fishing underneath the counter, pulls out a set of keys and hands it over to him before he runs back. He goes, "All right, and how long so 3 rooms, and how long do you plan to stay?"
Say, just for let's go with 2 days for now.
2 days? Okay. All right. So for the rooms for 2 days, we'd be looking at 3 gold and 9 silver.
3 gold, 9 silver. I will hand over 4 gold.
All right. Did you need change?
Yes, the silverback would be appreciated.
Right, he'll run back to the counter, puts the gold, says something. You see a silver piece is put on the counter. He'll run back, give it to you. All right. Anything to drink?
I'll take an ale if you.
I will pick that silver up that he just put on the table and run back. And gives
Do
it
I get change back from that?
He goes and puts it on the table. He will come back with 6 copper and give it to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Just yeah.
And gives you the ale.
I have no idea. In this place, do they do tipping? Oh my god, I have no idea. I will.
Yeah, I mean,
I will
the
spend some
bartender
time.
always tips. I mean,
I will spend some time watching other patrons and figuring out how tipping works here.
all right. So you're in the process of doing that. So, as for those of you who are on your way to the exorcism, you actually have to step outside of the city of the city proper to get there. Um, let me go and pull this up. So, as you guys make your way along with the tour, Kari begins going into detail about the final confrontation, the final stand that the favored few took here in order to ensure that the fifth was removed from the world, and that some semblance of peace and balance could be found. She talks about this organization known as the Rome Organization, which Badger, you have not made a check on this yet, so make a history check. You can as well, Belmundo. Squeeps, no.
12.
12?
What's my plus? I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Ooh.
19 total?
I have a plus, probably like +1 or +2.
Okay. So, Badger, you would have at least heard mention of them. The Roman organization is very much responsible for why the world is in the state that it's in today in terms of technology. From how the stories you've read about go, they were travelers from a different time, people who had come from an incredibly broken world as enemies of essentially everything and servants to the fifth, but were later awakened and realized the error in their path. They were stuck here, and after the Fifth's defeat, they contributed their knowledge to help to progress the world at a faster rate. You specifically, Belmundo, with a what'd you roll in total?
20 total.
20 total. You with a 20 know that a bit more just about the Rome organization. The evil entity that was seeking to awaken the fifth, known as Lord Tremor, was their leader at least at some point. He was the one who was responsible, and you actually would know that he was classified as a chronomancer, someone who is capable of manipulating the threads of time. He specifically brought them here, and from what they were able to gather, basically led a conquest onto the continent of Clamor in order to eradicate life in several cities. Though it's not fully understood what happened here on Zythan or the machinations and really just what his true end goal was. It was clear that whatever this place is, this exorcism was the site of this large constructed building that was being serviced as a reservoir of power for the awakening of this entity. Which Kari actually later goes into detail about. You guys begin making your way up a gravel path that is seemingly man-made. It is very clear that they have attempted to try to keep this looking as natural as possible, but there have been guidelines set for how the tour is supposed to be conducted. Badger, you can make a perception check.
24.
24. As you are making your way up the gravel path, you're kind of glancing around, and specifically because this is be something you're looking out for. As you make your way up, I'd say about 60, 70 feet, glancing down off to the right, you see, just kind of out of your periphery, there is a small contingent of guard that are currently standing watch near the side of the mount of the hill that you are going up, guarding what is clearly an entryway into somewhere. There are people that are in what you gather to be naturalist attire, gardening gloves, aprons, hairs tied back, that are in the process of taking in supplies, taking some out. You notice a couple of them have boxes that they are bringing out, some that are bringing in. And you do yeah.
You said gardening supplies?
Gardening supplies. These seem to be people who are, as I said, naturalists. They are people who
Okay.
specialize in nature, in its overseeing and caretaking. Based on a glance, these are definitely people who know what they're doing in terms of that.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of look over the naturalists and try to get a feel for the appearance and clothing style of a naturalist in case I might need to mimic it sometime in the
Wow,
future.
Who would guess? Why would you ever need to do that? So typical attire, though they have though they do have like different clothing underneath. Seems like it's just a normal attire. They do have smocks on that have various tools, shovels, rakes. You see that there are some. If you've ever seen like seed droppers, if you know what I'm talking about. So there are some. So there are these. I've only ever seen them a couple times. There are these small, what almost look like vials that are almost like a syringe. You fill them with seeds, and you can actually like use them to push the seeds deeper into the ground as opposed to just using your hand.
Oh, okay.
A lot of them seem to prefer having their hair covered or tied back in some way, possibly just to keep dirt out of their, probably just to keep the dirt out of their face. But in terms of like under appearance, from what you gather just watching, they do seemingly present something to the guard, which you're a little too far away to see before they're allowed in. So there's definitely some sort of authorization that goes along with this in order to gain access to this area, in order to gain access to the area.
Okay.
But as you guys are brought up, the priestess at the front will say, as you were just about reaching the top, she'll say, so a couple of precautions. I'm going to stop us here. A couple of precautions going up. The ground, though we have tried our best to reinforce it to ensure the safety of the tour, there are patches where it is loose. I would highly suggest caution. Watch where you're stepping. I'll do my best to instruct you as we go along. But it is quite a fall. So please be careful.
This hill we've been coming up, is it like an actual hill, or is it sort of like the outside of this crater?
It's more the outside of the crater that you guys are making your way up.
And it looks like that door people were going into leads under the crater?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, so as you begin making your way to the top, you see this massive unearthing where the ground has seemingly been adjusted somewhat, where, as she said, there have been areas where they've been trying to reinforce it to make it possible to walk up here, but a lot of the ground is very loose. Just glancing down, you see what looks like almost a chasm, like toward the middle. There's this small opening, not big enough to go into per se, but there's definitely a noticeable chasm that just seems to drop to you don't even know where. The area itself seems to be almost scarred with Arcana check from Badger and Scoops. You could do it too, but I'm gonna know you wouldn't quite know.
Yep.
14.
All right, Sweeps is muted. Luke! Dustin, go smack your boyfriend.
I forgot to watch the bullshit. And then my character sheet. I need to get a computer.
Yes, you do.
I've been holding my phone for the past.
Go sit with Dustin.
know.
Just go sit with Dustin. I can give you your character sheet. I can give him access to your character sheet so you can use it.
Hi there. My name is
just
Jordan.
get in the
And we are
way.
looking to produce funds for Luke to get a computer. If you can helpfully
17.
donate.
17!
17.
That's what I got!
Alright. And you got a 14, right, Badger?
I think so. I've already forgotten. 11. Yeah, 14.
Okay. So both of you detect that a lot of the residual, both of you being tuned to the weave in one way, can sense the residual threads of an ancient form of divine magic that just seems to permeate through the area. It's thin, but not so thin that it's completely untraceable. And as a matter of fact, as you kind of just haphazardly sort of kind of rub your hand, it's almost as if you can feel. It's almost like a coarseness in the air. It's a little bit off-putting.
Does it feel like an aura that's still being produced, or like the residue of some ancient?
It is residue. It is residue of an ancient entity.
Okay.
That just seems to be passively existing within the space. And as she kind of, you see that she kind of begins pointing out different areas for you all to step, and she'll say, and this was it. This was the site where the final confrontation took place. And she'll point down to the crater. It was here that the madman known as Lord Tremor attempted to revive the ancient entity known as the Fifth, bring him back, and bring his influence stronger into our world. Had it not been for those brave heroes, it is very likely that we would not be standing here today. Indeed, none of us would have ever seen the beauty of this world, would have never seen all that life has to offer. It is theorized that had he had been successful in resurrecting this entity, he himself would have found himself lost. And our world would have either been destroyed or shaped to whatever sort of disgusting amalgamation this creature could have thought up. I would ask you all for just a moment of quiet silence, of quiet and prayer for those heroes who have passed and those who continue to reside within our world, seeking different prospects. And she'll kind of go quiet, kind of put her hand on her chest, and you see the Tor kind of seems to mimic her. Whether the sentiment is there or not is,
Yeah. Taurus.
I'll take my my hat off.
As the moment passes, she'll say, well, feel free to look about if you'd like to. If you do plan to make your way into the crater, there are areas where I can take you down that are much safer. I would ask that you not just try to walk down the side, as you will most likely find yourself ass over tea kettle.
You had said in the crater, there's like a chasm that goes beyond sight. Is that like just a small shaft in the middle, or is that like the entire crater just kind of funnels down?
So it funnels down. Yeah, so it funnels downward, and the shaft is maybe big enough for a hand to go into.
Oh, so it's not like you can accidentally fall down into the forever.
Like I said, it seems like precautions have been taken. Maybe at some point this was just a big open area, but there has definitely like been precautions. So like people are gonna want to come up here. How do we keep people from dying?
Okay.
We made sure to put up the barriers. Made sure that the yellow and black tape is up.
Caution.
We put up a sign in 3 languages. What more do you expect us to do?
This in the oh my god, what's his name? Is his name Jeff, the guy who like led Fallout 76? Yeah, he's the lead director.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This just works.
It just works.
Yeah.
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard for Skyrim, yeah. It just works.
It just works.
Where did you come up with the name Jeff?
I think I was thinking
you're thinking of fucking Jeff from the Overwatch team.
That's it.
I was saying, like, what, Jeff Keighley? What?
Jeff Kaplan.
No, I don't remember his last name.
It's Kaplan.
I just remember him being a meme.
Yeah.
It's Jeff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, Todd, it just works. It just works.
I'm gonna look back and forth between Badger and Bomundo. Point.
Where are you pointing towards? Into the crater?
Into the crater.
I mean, I'll raise my hand. I was interested in going in without falling ass over tea kettle.
Yeah, you see a couple of other people also who like kind of raise their hand asking you, and she's okay, very well, please follow me. She'll take you up a little bit higher where you can see that similar to the path that you would come up, there's a descent that is caked with gravel and more coarse sands to give traction, or more coarse stones that give traction. And she starts kind of, so everyone just be careful, go at an angle, just to ensure that you don't fall in. And she actually like demonstrates how to step down the path properly. You all follow suit. No check needed because you're not trying to just jump into the crater. For both of you though, Badger and Squeeps, the deeper you go into the crater, the air seems to become thicker for you as you start to feel more of that residual energy that just kind of malingers around the area. Almost kind of. It becomes dense enough that it almost begins to leave like this sort of like chalky taste in your mouths. And it definitely seems like, based on what you can gather, anyone that is of a decent level of magical prowess or attachment to the weave can definitely sense this sort of energy. Though Belmundo, you somehow don't. As you guys step into the crater proper, you see she kind of steps back and lets you guys just kind of roam around the area. And it's one of those things where it's like looking from the top down, you get a perspective, but really being in this crater and looking up, you realize just the immensity of it. As you kind of glance back up to the ridge, it's almost, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's almost a surreal experience in a way. Especially for you two, who can just kind of just feel this sort of, and I wouldn't even say malicious, but ill-intended sort of aura that's around you. And especially for this event, which has taken place 500, maybe even longer years ago, for this level of magic to even be just malingering is almost worrying in a way. To just realizing the true scale of whatever this entity was. But you guys are... Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna do that thing that birds do, where they just kind of shake all their feathers out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shake my head.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the both of them.
You doing okay?
You all right there, Squeeps?
I kind of point at both of them.
I think it might just have a bit of the creeps from down here.
Yeah, this was the site of the summoning of, like, an evil god. Well, almost the summoning of an evil god, so...
Can I make an insight check? On fucking Badger?
Sure, what are you looking for exactly?
I'm just getting the shivers or whatever.
Sure.
Badger and Belmundo.
Sure. Badger, are you trying to hide at all? Or is it just kind of like...
Yeah, I'm trying to appear not super sensitive to this.
Sure. Deception check. Squeeps insight. Belmundo, you're not hiding anything.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What'd you roll, Badger?
So that's a 24 with a natural 20.
Oh man, you got that poker face on, all right.
We'll fire
with
this
you?
man.
23.
Oh, so close! So close! Okay, so best you can glean, Badger and Belmundo both kind of just seem like they're taking in the grandeur of the area. I would say you'll notice that the priestess, she seems a little uncomfortable in the space. Though kind of looking around at the rest of the tourists, no one else seems to kind of be having any reaction.
Not one mage.
Nope. No. Or at least if there is a mage, then they're doing a very good job of hiding it. But yeah, you guys kind of just meandering around, just looking about. It's up to you how long you guys want to stay here. As you're kind of glancing around, you notice that there are it's mostly what you'd expect of a crater, displaced rocks. Though you do notice that there are tiny chunks of metal, maybe only about like this big, that are kind of inlaid in some areas of the ground.
Does it look like it was put there after the fact?
No, it looks like it has been there for a while.
Can I reach my hand out and
You
try
can
to take
make a stealth check.
it? No.
What'd you roll?
That's a 7 on the die.
So you kind of like do like that whole like as you're reaching down, the priestess will look at you and say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Please don't remove anything from the site."
Rock's haunted.
And again, it's completely up to you guys how long you want to be here for. How long would you like to be here for?
I'll poke around until it looks like the group is getting ready to disperse.
Okay, so I'd say probably. Okay, so then I'll say probably about 45 minutes. There are some people walking around that do have cameras, which are somewhat of a rarity. They are, you know of them, but they are incredibly expensive. You can hear some that go off, and there's like a flash of light, and a few minutes later you hear.
I'm gonna go up to that hand-sized chasm hole that looks like it goes forever.
Okay, as you make your way over, you notice that the priestess is actually like immediately like kind of just trains her eyes on you. Not out of you can quickly tell it's not out of malice, more just out of making sure nothing happens to you.
Does this look like it's like unstable, dangerous to approach, or?
The ground around it is definitely a lot less worked in the sense of it has not been as well secured as the rest of the area has been, probably intentionally, as they wanted to preserve whatever. How close are you getting?
Seeing that she starts giving me a look, I'll look at her. So what's down here then?
She actually goes at an angle and steps down to you. And she'll say, well, "This is, for the most part, we've managed to keep a lot of the area stable, but this is what remains of the abyss where the creature was dragged out from."
Oh, he actually came out of that hole then?
It was larger, of course, but yes, when he was quite literally ripped from our world, this is where he came from.
What's down there now?
Expeditions have been made to attempt to discover just how far the chasm goes, but the venture has become the venture downwards becomes either too unstable or too dangerous to continue, so we're not entirely certain what resides at the bottom.
How deep have they gone, do you know?
The last reported I believe was 2,100
miles? Good God.
Feet.
Feet? Good God.
It's dangerous when you can't properly create a network. It's different from having tunnels that make their way down into the earth. Having to make a straight downwards descent makes it incredibly difficult for us to get any sort of proper information, and any researchers brave enough to even make the trip are few and far between.
Right, it's probably a pretty expensive venture too. I mean, you'd need if he's going that deep down, you'd need some pretty serious kit to not fall the rest of the way.
Yes. And while I'm sure we could get the funding for it, as I'd stated, the ground becomes so warped and unserviceable that it's made it nigh impossible to get any expeditions further.
Mm.
Perhaps in the future we'll find a way to get down further and truly discover where this entity originated from. But it's just speculation at the moment.
Right. I suppose I'd better be backing off away from that then. If it's that long of a drop, that's whew, I don't mean to be falling down that.
I would definitely. It's definitely not compatible with life.
And with that, I'm going to back up, and the wheels are already turning in my head of what the right way to go about going down there is, and it involves lots and lots of rope and maybe an airship.
An airship?
An airship.
Or, 2 immovable rods, There's a lot of things you can do with those.
Alrighty. Alright, as you guys kind of finish meandering around the area, getting your information, some people continue to take pictures. Eventually, the priestess will wave everyone back up and begin leading you all back to the city. Around the time you guys are coming back to the city, Nay and Void, Nay and Void, you both arrive at the Vagabond. At this point, Lem, as you've kind of been observing the people around, tipping does appear to be customary. So do with that what you will. As you both
Did
enter...
I miss much?
No, you didn't miss anything. It's okay.
Okay.
The Badger got some information on the fact that the chasm that this crater is on top of. They went about 2,100 feet before they had to stop expeditions because it got too dangerous.
Holy fuck.
As you Void and Nay make your way in, you can see Lem is currently sat at a table. How much you drinking, Lem?
This is very much I'm nursing an ale for a good while,
Gotcha.
And maybe getting another every hour or so.
Gotcha.
Hour and a half.
So you get about one more ale in before Nay and Void meander in, coming over to you. Very easy to see her. She's sat at one of the larger tables. You see there's only a handful of patrons in at the moment.
I do. I do the tipping of one additional copper piece for each ale, so that you keep the folks here happy.
Gotcha. Okay.
A note. Probably during the trip, I will have probably went through my pack, checked my bowl of mint leaves, which are definitely not
good
minty anymore. So I will dump that out, and I'll just have a bowl with me.
Right.
I did want to check on my white roses. I believe I got everyone a white rose. I think.
Have you been taking care of them?
Probably not.
They're pretty wilted at this point.
Yeah, that's along with dumping out the leaves. I'll probably put down the white roses where they are.
As you guys are walking, you watch as Nay pulls out that bowl of leaves, just kind of shakes it onto the floor, puts her bowl back in the pouch, goes back in, pulls out a bunch of white roses that have wilted, and just drops them to the floor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, also I have a box of treats where I pretty much open up the box, notice that it's
They
all
are
stale, and
you just
instead
dump them on the floor.
No, I don't just dump them just randomly. I just kind of look around and make sure no one's watching, and just on occasion I'll just toss one out and just along the way just make a trail of
check. Make a stealth check, man.
This is going to be awful.
This is the weird counterpart to being responsible and holding onto trash till you find a trash can, but
Yeah, Yeah, don't dump the box. Like, this is literally the counter opposite. She doesn't dump the box. She's literally taking one at a time the drinks out of the box.
Well, I mean, if there are birds out, they might enjoy it. I rolled an 8 + 1 for 9.
After about the third pastry, a guard will run over and go, excuse me.
Yeah?
What do you think you're doing? You understand we have groundskeepers that need to come in. Go pick that up.
Did you want one?
Pick it up.
Okay. I will go back and I will pick up the one. And then I'll go back and continue on my way. Ignoring the other two.
She will grab your arm. The others?
What do you mean others?
Ma'am, unless you would like to be fined, I suggest you go back and pick up your pastries.
No fun here. Okay. I'll go back and I'll take the other two.
He will watch you all leave. Like, he is keeping a very close eye on you as you will both walk away after picking up the pastries.
Mm-hmm. After we do get enough distance away, I'll see how far away whether he's wanting to follow or not.
Perception check.
Okay. That's another roll of an 8, so I guess that's the number of the day. 8 + 7 for 15.
15? Yeah, he's trailing you. Just a little bit. But only for about 100 feet, and then he breaks off.
Okay. So after seeing him break away, I'll kind of think for a moment, and I'll try to put together what Void kind of did, and think very carefully about the guard before I cast Sending.
You're going to cast Sending?
Yep, to the guard.
All right. What do you say?
For a moment, I'm going to try to think very carefully before trying to attempt to disguise my voice. You have disappointed the god of pastries. How dare you go ahead and allow this sacrifice to not take place? And I will stop.
Deception check.
Somehow I keep rolling 8s. That's unbelievable. Okay. 8 plus deception. 6 for 14.
Your response you get is, what the fuck? That's it?
I was gonna say that, yeah.
That's what you get back. That's what you hear back.
And then at a moment's notice, like, if there's like a bush or something there, I'll just like leave the box in there.
Nay, they have trash cans. Come on.
What do you mean? Oh, they're trash cans.
They have bins that you put your trash in so it doesn't get everywhere. And then somebody comes along and takes care of it later.
Wait, well, that seems rather interesting, because normally when things aren't really needed, you kind of just throw them out, and that's just where they are.
Uncivilized monkey, you can do that, but
I am not a monkey, so no. You're
throwing your food on the ground, so I beg to differ.
What about this is a monkey to you?
You also poop on the floor.
I don't necessarily do that. There are holes in the ground that you do that.
You make loud screeching noises at people?
No.
Okay. Well, you don't scream at people. You don't poop on the floor. So why are you throwing your food on the floor?
I mean, it's bad. So I mean,
trash can.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pick up the box for the bush.
I'll say about 30 feet later, you'd find a receptacle that you can put your trash into.
Garbage in garbage can.
For everyone. Use them.
All right. Knowing that's where the trash can is, I'm going to put it on top of the trash can.
You're one of those people. Anything to say, Wood?
I'm just going to stand there and stare at her fucking daggers in the eyes that she can't see, and then put it in while I'm still staring at her.
Oh, that's where it goes. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you were saying that people came in and they would go ahead and put it into the. You know what? We're just.
God, however, am I going to get rid of these 6 large boxes? I'll put them on top of this tiny trash can, and someone else can deal with it. I hate people like that. Oh my god, when I worked in Asbury Farm.
I would say, like, the explanation that Void gave, like, that's like.
That's true.
And of course, even with, like, a guard saying, like, we have people that do that, it's like, okay, fine. Here you go.
Right. Alright, and at that point, you guys will arrive at the Vagabond.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down with Lem. Lem, are you going to let them know, or are you waiting for the whole group?
Okay. We did get a note from House Teresa. Out of our work, we should.
That seems very interesting. You said House Teresa, but the Resa's a person. So how's a person a house?
House usually refers to the surname of a group of people.
Do you have
a family?
Kinda.
Yeah. Do you have in the village where you're from? Do you all have unique names, or do you have like a name that talks about who you're related to, or what job you have?
Well, I mean, there are people that have names. There are the Joneses. They have a home, and that's where they live. But we don't call it House Joneses. That seems a little weird.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. I honestly don't even know if you've got I don't know that there would be any reason for it there.
I know for sure that I believe the body, the spirit, the voice, they all have houses.
That would be about.
But then again, they also kind of live in one big place, so I'm not entirely sure we could really call it a house.
The equivalent would be the voice is the house or the face.
No,
I think
it's
so.
Not a house is not a actual house.
It's a stand-in.
So we are House Pietins.
If we were to be a political entity that, you know, people had to come to a place to talk to us a lot, it might eventually become called that, and then eventually it might become how it's remembered or written down. A lot of these places are folk who've been involved in managing things for a while, and that happens. You end up with like the equivalent of where the Joneses live. Well, if the Joneses were in charge of the stables for 300 years, then everyone would say, "Oh, you have a horse problem. You got to go talk to the people in the Joneses' house." And after a while, they stop saying "in the Joneses' house." They just say "Jones' house." And then after a while, you're like, "Oh, I'm Bob, and I'm from House Jones," and everyone would know what you meant. And then someone else comes in and is confused, but that's okay because you can just let them know.
You said a lot of things that I kind of understand, but you may need to explain them again.
That's okay.
That is a very good summary of the last month of your life.
Okay.
But the short form of it is, and I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, or rather, we should definitely wait till the others are here to more fully discuss things. But it looks like we might have work available because of what we did to help the railway, and it looks like they want to encourage such civic-minded action by making us richer. Basically, we need to reach out for them for payment, but they're glad of what we did.
I'm gonna pull out my coin purse. That's good, because I have an empty coin purse and I wanna prestidigitate dust like puffing out of it with a noise.
Oh, absolutely. I rented 3 rooms for us for the next 2 nights, and then I had an ale, and the ale was 1/10 with the tip, 1/10 of my active money at that time.
I'm gonna keep eye on Void's pouch and just keep watching the entire time.
You're just watching the pouch to see if it coughs again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the cough and cold season, it hits the bags real hard.
All right. Eventually, Squeeps, Badger, and Velodae, you will make your way into the Vagabond. You see, around the time you get there, it's a little busier. There are people who are funneling in from their end of day, and you see your companions sat at a table, large enough for large enough for the 7 of you. You go sit down. Anyone ordering anything, by the way? Food, drinks.
Is it about dinner time or what? Where are we at in the day at this point?
With everything that's been going on, you guys are. It's about early dinner.
Early dinner. Okay.
Well, I am absolutely needing to have some food because I have been in the library for most of the day, and also I've been told that drink is very important if you want to forget things. So I'm going to request that there be a lot of drink coming my way.
How much drink?
I don't even know what they mean.
You're just gonna say a lot?
Just a lot of drink.
Oh, you want a lot of drink, right?
So for a meal, here. Would you guys want just a standard fare meal or a luxury meal?
I'll just get a standard meal for myself.
Right, it is 5 copper. It is 5 copper pieces. Ale is not included.
How much is a luxury meal?
A luxury A luxury meal is 1 silver and 5 copper.
I'm gonna get a
luxury
fucking luxury meal.
I'll order a fucking luxury meal.
Alright.
1 silver, 5 copper? I can do that.
Right.
And if you tip and you get an ale with it, I guess the standard meal's then about silver.
Yeah. Basically, it's 1 extra silver for a luxury meal, basically.
So, after paying for the luxury meal, and I said a lot of drink, I'm just going to very carefully go through the gold pieces in there, and eventually I'm going to put down 10 gold pieces for drink.
So quick question.
Are you giving this to the bartender?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to spend all of this?
That's a good question.
How about this? He'll take 2 gold off the pile and give you the other 8. Let's see where we're at after that.
Is that the half-orc guy?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So,
and is this for you or is this for your table?
I think I need a lot of drink, so I believe it would be for me. Yeah.
All right. I'll just let me know when you want another round, and he'll grab a tankard and fill it up with the house ale and give it to you.
All right. I'll go ahead and take it back to the table and wait for my meal.
Okay. So for those of you who got a standard fare meal, which I think is just Badger.
Mm-hmm.
So Badger,
I'm also getting standard feel.
Okay, Lemon sure. Badger. You are presented a very hearty stew.
Ooh.
For those of you that got the luxury meal, you will get several cuts of mutton. You will receive a salad, as well as a dark, what almost looks like a potato, but it's off in some way. It's white with these really dark lines that run through it.
Zebra potato. What does it taste like?
Do you taste it?
Yeah.
Do a nature check to see.
Make a nature check. Squeeps, you just pick it up and eat it?
Yeah.
3. I have no idea what the fuck it is.
It's sweet. And
ooh,
it's soft, and the darker veins that run through it are crunchy. And you're looking at it, and you're like, "Wait a minute! This isn't a potato. It is like a cookie almost."
Ooh.
Is that a fried Oreo that you just served us as a dessert? Which not bad.
Oh,
one of
it's
those
not a
potato
cookie.
candy. You're not candy, the cookie.
But she will. Nay.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly do you down that first ale?
Well,
And is anyone else
I
getting like trying to get smashed?
I'm not gonna get smashed, but
Well-
I am going to drink, and I'm going to ask. So what makes you want to forget about everything in your life right now, considering you paid
don't
them?
know
like-
what you're talking about. No.
I guess it depends on the meaning of the word because I'm going to kind of just sit at the bar and just kind of look at the orc guy and kick my feet.
Takes a minute for him to really acknowledge you. He'll come over and kind of just put his arm on the bar and say, "Hi there.
Hello.
Looking for a drink?" Oh, what happened? I heard a phone ringing and then...
That was David.
Oh, David.
Dabini.
Alright, so he'll say, you looking for a drink? Your camera's off, by the way, Luke. So I
Is
can't
it?
see if
What?
you're doing anything.
Is it off?
No, you're good now.
It
It's
was.
on now.
Is it off again?
Yes.
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 Okay, every time I fucking leave to access my shit, apparently, it turns off.
Dustin, be a good boyfriend and get Luke a computer, would you?
I know he's saving up for one.
You at home, we need donations for the Lucas Computer
Luke
Foundation
Computer Fund. Please,
or the
anything you can
LCF.
spare.
I do have a laptop that he could borrow, but I think it's crappier than his phone.
Nice.
Every
But
day, ones of Luke's go uncomputered.
Alright, what's up, Luke?
I shake my head to his question.
I'm alright, just hanging out. Okay.
I kind of like take off my hat and the one singular white feather. I'm just kind of
Twirling it. Alright.
kicking my feet.
Alright, well, if you need anything, just let me know. He'll kind of hold his name's Tane, by the way.
Hello.
Hello.
Just shake his head.
And what's your name?
Sweeps.
Squeeps. Alright. He kind of looks over to your table, and he notices that you very quickly drank in that ale.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll pour another, he'll get another mug ready and hand it over to the young man who runs it over. Here you go. It'll put another ale down and take the cup.
Thank you very much. Because you're going to be doing this a lot, hold on. I'm going to go back into the coin purse.
Uh-huh.
Think about this for a second. And then drop him the silver.
Thank you. He'll take it, kind of put it into his apron.
Going to just sort of pat Nay on the shoulder a little bit. You've had a long day, and I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability, Constitution abilities. I don't know exactly how the day went. I got an idea from the drink, and whatever else happens, I want you to not feel terrible tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then, Lem, if you'd like to go ahead, as you guys are just kind of eating.
Right. Well, so word of our actions on the train has gotten back to House Terrassa, which is involved with transportation and all that. Basically, thanking us for our work, and also there's a reward they're looking to give us. We just need to reach out to them. They also have some work that, if we're interested, we could pick up. Seems like a pretty reasonable sort of arrangement. They already think well of us because of what we did. And it sounded even like there might be several jobs dependent. I don't know if it's all serial like or if we have, a couple of things we could do and get to choose. But I've already rented 3 rooms for our group for the next couple of days here, and we can sort of see how things go. It's still early early dinner, so perhaps we could drop a message to their place and see about meeting early tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep and have a good solid breakfast tomorrow, right? Maybe. And I'm just sort of looking at Nay.
Do you show them the note?
Yes.
Okay, so you all would see the same letter that was presented to Lem, stating the reward of 2,000 gold.
She's currently not looking at the letter as she is currently halfway through jug number 2.
Yeah, Lim is carefully not saying the amount aloud because it's not. It's just one of those things where it's like maybe not advertised that hugely in a tavern.
No, that totally makes sense.
So is we in House Darasa's territory right now, or was that just that town what we passed through?
No. House Darasa is actually a family, kind of. It's not a person, nor is it a house.
Badger, if you'd like to, you can make a check. History.
Yeah, would that be history?
Yeah, history.
14.
14? Yes, you are currently within their territory.
Okay. So they're just gonna pay us and offer us a bit of work while we's in the area, huh? I mean, I don't see no harm in that. At least going and hearing what they have to offer, at least.
I will also mention that the note does state to come to the guard post to receive your reward, and that specifically the town of Velodae may have some jobs for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dyrasa's going to pay us the reward.
They're paying you the reward, but Velodae is offering you the work.
Okay. Right, well, I think we ought to go sometime there tomorrow, probably mid-morning, get paid, and at least hear him out on the job office, see what he's got going on.
Yeah. How long do we plan on staying here anyways? Like, I have the commission that might take 3 weeks to 1 week, depending on if I want to, accelerate it a little bit.
Well, I mean, let's hear what the job offer is, and maybe that'll tell us if it's going to be like a 3 month thing or just a free day thing, or
Fair enough, I guess.
Speaking of 3, I am going to go ahead and get mug number 3.
Do you just flag him?
Yep.
Alright, you will bring your third mug. Make Constitution saving throw, eh? At advantage because you have
admittedly, it's for con checks only. It's not going to help against that, but it's depending on how you're doing drunkenness.
I would say if it's a case that it's not advantage, I just rolled a 17 before doing the thing. So if it's Constitution saving throw, 17 plus 2, 19.
19. You're doing great, eh?
Mm-hmm. I'm also enjoying this fantastic meal along the way as well. So.
That helps. That always helps.
Alright, so... Oh, good.
Oh, I just wanted to say that Void this entire time has been sneaking scraps off of other people's plates.
Make a stealth check.
I don't have money for food, and I'm too fucking uptight to ask.
Can I make perception to notice this?
Yeah, make a perception check.
I was gonna say I already have passive perception on this. At the moment Void
22?
even comes close to Nay's plate.
What's your passive perception though, Nay?
For Nay, it is 22. So Void, the moment that your fingers start even going to her plate, she's going to lightly tap against your hand.
It's a critical on perception. I don't remember what my bonus is.
I mean, you would notice that Void doesn't have food. He's the only one at the table without food. And with a critical success is always a success in my games. So yeah, you notice that Void's just kind of his spindly fingers just go making their way up the table, grabbing a piece of food.
So after lightly tapping your hand there, Void, you also see Nay just go through her pouch and then leave 5 gold next to her plate before going back to eating.
Lim doesn't think that way. Lim is going to go up to the front, order another meal, and
standard fare.
Yeah.
Okay.
And an ale.
Okay. All right. So about only like a couple minutes later, because stew is readily prepared. Void, as you're attempting to grab another piece of food, there will be a bowl of stew put in front of you with a mug of ale.
I'll eat it silently.
All right. So as the night sort of wanes on, is anyone besides Nay getting drunk? That's what I want to know.
Nah.
All right. So Nay,
I get to 4.
after I'll say you get about make one more con save.
Oh, that's cool. 18 plus 2 for 20.
20. You all watch as Nay drinks about 9 mugs of ale. Before eventually, as she finishes downing it, she'll put it on the table. You see her cheeks are flush. And Nay, you are sufficiently drunk.
Mm-hmm. I am not afraid to say this, but I don't think I really like the taste of ale. I was just told that it was a nice drink, and it makes me feel weird. I don't think I like the taste of it, though.
Not
Just
supposed
saying.
to like the taste of it.
But I was told it's a good drink. Why lie? Why people lie? Luna, why?
It's
Why
more
people
for the
lie?
funny effect. It's less the taste. It's more the experience after you drink it. If that makes sense.
What's funny? What do you mean funny? Funny experience?
Oh, you're not having a funny experience right now. You're not feeling a little woozy. Like.
When are there
Wait,
two of you?
Why is drunk Nay Adam Sandler in the 90s?
At which point you notice that the bartender is like looking at Nay. He'll cautiously pour another mug of ale and give it to the.
I'm gonna signal him to cut it off.
I'm gonna signal it. I'm gonna signal immediately, seeing that there's another thing coming.
Both of you make charisma checks.
I'll try and wave it like it's mine. I want it.
Oh.
3 plus 5.
I roll a 4 plus 3 for 7.
7.
Yeah.
Fucking low.
No fucking way.
You won with an 8. Oh my god! So you frantically are like, stop it! At which point he'll like take the mug back.
Oh, okay. He got us. That's fine. It's fine.
He'll sort of like count out, like tab out the drinks. So let's see, 4 copper piece. So it's 3 gold, 6 silver. So he'll put 1 gold, 6 silver, and 4 copper into a pouch. Hand it over to the attendant or the assistant who will run over and put the pouch on the table.
What's this? What? There's a coin. There's a coin here. That's the coin I gave you.
That's your change.
What do you mean? No,
You didn't.
but I was promised 2 gold pieces. I'll drink for a long time. Are they saying that they're not letting me drink more? Is this what I'm hearing?
I'm cutting you off.
Would you mind taking her upstairs?
If you can walk a straight line from there to there, I'll point like 12 feet. I'll let you keep drinking.
Accept your challenge, tall man.
All right.
And I will get up from the table.
So Nay, you are drunk, which means you're considered poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to make a dexterity check at disadvantage. You can use acrobatics. You can use acrobatics if you have it.
This is gonna be great. All right. Well, I don't need to roll again because that's a natural 1.
I accept your challenge, tall man, said Nay confidently as she attempted to stand up from her chair and then immediately fell into a table next to her. Taking the table down with her.
I should have known better.
You're taking her upstairs, right?
What matter?
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Yeah, as you get up to go like pick her up, you're like, okay, Nay, let's go. As you pick her up, you hear, and you're like, uh-oh. As you pick her up, you notice that the table is split. And you notice that the barkeep is looking at all of you.
There's someone amending.
Quick question. Because of that force against the table, did I take a point of damage? Just straight up?
No, but the table is broken.
Shit.
For once, I didn't take anything.
I know that feeling completely.
Never know when you're gonna need it when you need it.
So as you pick up Nay, he'll look at you. Hey, Lucia, so who's paying for the table?
The one that broke it. Probably.
What?
He holds his hand out.
How much?
I'm gonna high five it.
3 gold.
Bear in mind, the 5 gold that Nay left on the side is still on the table.
I'll pick up 3 gold with that and then just give it to him.
He'll put it in. He'll. You see, he kind of puts it away into his pocket for the moment.
Yeah. And then the rest will just put into Nay's bag.
Alrighty.
Okay, I believe I'm up, which means I can walk in a straight line, and I'm gonna try to.
No, you
already lost that opportunity.
No, you said if I could walk a straight. I did not get a chance to walk a straight line, and you're saying that I did get a chance. Don't. Yes.
I'm cutting you off.
Which, as a point of note, for the inexperienced, Nay, you think you're standing perfectly straight.
Uh-huh.
You are bent over, and Void is having to constantly keep you from falling.
Mm-hmm.
Even with his assistance, you almost eat shit like 3 times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But eventually.
Okay, if we're doing straight lines, and I can do it, I absolutely can. I will walk a straight line to the room, and then I get another drink. That's how it works. And May is going to once again try to get away from your grasp to walk a straight line toward the room.
Good luck with that.
Alrighty. So you make your way to the second level of the Vagabond, where you can see that it is a mostly open plan with a couple doors that seem to lead to various rooms. There's a couple bits of furniture that are sort of just there to make it look a bit more homely. Sure, Nay, make a dex check at disadvantage.
I was gonna say the other part is like I don't know which room I'm supposed to be going into. So
are there paintings in the hallway or
no paintings? But there's some small like tables.
You know, it's a 5.
I'll stand in between things as she's trying because I'm interested.
A check of 5 to pick a door.
Have you guys watched South Park?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when Randy Marsh gets pulled over for a DUI?
I didn't hear no bell.
It was America.
Nay, as soon as Void lets go of you, you immediately start swaying back and forth. Her feet go from this to like that as she almost duck walks to try to keep her balance.
Don't die.
Before, like, she takes 3 steps, Nay, you stop. Take another 2 steps, you stop. You're like, okay, I can do this. And you go to take a step and start falling backwards. Is anyone gonna catch Nay?
I know, but I said I was in the way between her and furniture.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to.
I make an athletics check.
Oh, athletics. Okay.
Yes.
What was that? It was 14 on the die, so 21.
21. You catch Nay as you're falling backwards. You feel your body hit someone as Lev. You run behind and catch Nay before she falls on her back.
Okay. So, Nay, I'm gonna need to do the blessing of temporary dependent on no further drinking, getting you to your room safe. Blessing, okay?
There's a blessing. There's a. Huh?
My goddess is the god of endless practicality, and I'll do a short prayer, and I'm going to do enhance ability dexterity. Only gonna last until you get to your room and into your bed, okay?
Okay.
It's not gonna last too long.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The god looks after.
So that means still straight line, still drink.
No, that means you go to your bed.
But
If you try to not, if you try to keep drinking, it goes away.
All right, go ahead and make a dex check, Nay. Just straight, because
once again, not told which door, which room.
Actually, did they tell Lim which rooms? Because Lim would probably guide.
What's your roll, Nay?
Lim will help.
Okay, good news. It was not a natural 1. Bad news. I rolled a 2. Plus 1 for 3.
3. You prop her to her feet. You let her go. And she just falls forward.
Here we go.
All right.
At that point, I'm gonna say, Nay, as you start falling, the inertia of just constant movement back and forth, you sort of just kind of, I don't feel good, and you hit the ground unconscious.
So a good day was had by.
You on one side, me on the other. I guess.
All right.
Yeah, something like that.
So each of you get escorted. So each of you are escorted to. So Lem and Nay, or Lem Void, you pick up Nay and get her to the room. Lay her down. The rest of you go to your various rooms. Is there anything anyone wants to do before we wrap up?
I'd like to talk to Lem.
Okay.
I was gonna do something with Nay, but she's fucking unconscious.
Right.
Yeah. It's like get a glass of water and set it on the bedside table or whatever for when she eventually wakes up.
You know, Chris, if you're reading r/horror stories, there's some players who would take that as an opportunity.
Oh no!
I've
Don't
read
you even
too
talk?
many stories about that. It is so bad. Go check out r/horror stories.
I'm playing an evil character, so it's justified. It's never justified, you idiot.
I'll
even
piss
evil
on
has
the bed
standards.
and pretend like Nay did it. That's.
Oh no!
I was literally thinking, I hadn't gotten there yet, but I was literally thinking of putting like a note on parchment up that has bathroom and an arrow toward whichever like direction down the hall it is.
Alrighty.
Nah.
Someone get her a glass of water.
Alright, so go ahead, Void. You after you and Lem finish getting Nay into the bed.
I know we're doing that scouting of potential jobs tomorrow, but did you want to like hang out?
Well, sure. I mean, it's pretty early in the evening. There are, I suppose, worse things than passing a note along to. Is how like Velodae the house.
Velodae is not a house.
Oh,
Velodae
okay.
is the town.
Durasa
is the name of the house that owns the territory.
Okay, maybe I misheard. I thought it was like Velodae has the workforce.
Right, but Velodae is not the name of a house. Velodae is the city itself.
Okay, it's just okay.
The
so like
city
as
has
in
jobs for you. Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm correcting that for sure. So I guess there's less of an issue of us actually sending a notice that we're going to be someplace. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Since it doesn't sound like we're going to be like going to a place where we need to give them lots of advance notice, like I'm not gonna. No firm plans for the evening for sure.
Oh, I meant more like tomorrow, but I'm down to do something.
Tomorrow also works perfectly well. I gather May seems to have taken things well, considering.
That's one word for it.
There are a lot worse things in life than someone getting good and drunk when they have a rough day. She seems like a fairly harmless drunk. Furniture aside.
It's a silver lining, I guess, but like half yelling at the distance there was disheartening. Like I guess it's really the only response you can have if your whole worldview's being shattered.
Oh yeah. It's the sort of thing that, she might apologize for it later, she might not, but I'm not gonna rush her on that.
Anyway, I probably should get in there and make sure she's not awake and doing something goofy.
Making sure she's not accidentally turning herself in a bad way so she can't breathe too well.
Yeah, something like that. You have a good night.
You as well. Best of luck. And in order to contain the problem, I will then drop concentration on the.
Oh man. All right. Anything else anyone wants to do? Okay. So as the night winds down and all of you eventually find your way to rest, we're going to go ahead and call the session here. Like I said, it's going to be a little short today, just because I do need to get a nap in before work. And it looks like Chris was just getting ready to go to work. So.
I got plenty of time, but
okay.
I like doing stuff ahead of time so I could be here as long as possible, which it's counteractive because I miss things.
So we'll pick this up next Saturday with the continuation to see just where this troop goes and to see whether Nay has the ability to deal with a hangover because she didn't drink any water.
Yeah, I was gonna say next week. Like I'll talk about it out of game, but
do you have stuff to
do? There might be something I need to do next week. So
okay.
Ale is mostly water though, so.
But it's still alcohol. It's mostly this rum and cola is mostly cola.
Yeah, beer is mostly water, but a beer is still alcoholic, dork.
Rum and a liter of cola.
Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Hopefully with I hope Jordan can make it next week, but I guess we'll figure that out. But until then, goodbye.